and welcome to the Man Up channel. I am your host, Bob Buckland, and with me again today is John Font.
Hi guys, how we doing?
And today we are going to be talking about the man, the myth, the meme,
The legend.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie has been around for quite a while. He tried to run for the Democratic primary last time against Donald Trump and was defeated by Hillary Clinton, and tried to do it again this year and was defeated by now President Joe Biden. But what are we talking about today? How has Bernie made the news yet again, even though it's not in the political realm whatsoever?
Would you believe just for sitting outside in a puffy jacket and cold mitts? I could not believe this either. We are going to be looking at the article today, written by Ingrid Sire. How do you say her name?
Ochi, I think, is what we went with. If we're mispronouncing the name, we apologize in advance. But yes, she's a San Francisco high school teacher that is trying to teach a lesson on subtle white privilege and use Bernie Sanders at the at Joe Biden's inauguration as a example of this. And it befuddles me, but we're going to read her worldview because we obviously don't understand it.
Yeah, it might be my white privilege, quote unquote, but looking at the picture, all I see is a old guy that's cold that really doesn't want to be there.
Right, and I don't think that's absolutely terrible. But anyway, so this is her article from the San Francisco Chronicle. We'll try and post a link in the description. 3 weeks ago, I processed the Capitol insurrection. So she did this with her high school students during a Zoom call. She would post different pictures from different things, and then Bernie came up later. She processed the Capitol insurrection with my high school students. Rallying with our inquiry stills, we analyzed the images of that historic day, images of white men storming the Capitol, fearless with no forces to stop them. This, I said, is white supremacy. This is white privilege. It can be hard to pinpoint. When we see it, we will know it. Across our Zoom screens, they affirmed with nods and thumbs up and emojis of anger and frustration. Fast forward 2 weeks, we analyzed the image from the inauguration, asking again, what do we see? We saw diversity, creativity, humanity, a nation embracing all of this and more. And on the day of the inauguration, Bernie Sanders was barely on our radar. But the next day, he was everywhere. Subways, playgrounds, every meme imaginable, Bernie Sanders was there. I'm not quoting anymore. I didn't even watch the inauguration, but then Bernie Sanders was in my news feed like everywhere. Kind of like Twisted Tea. I didn't understand it for a long time, and then all these people are like whipping out Twisted Tea and beating people, and I was like, oh. So way to go viral. What do we see, I asked. We've been studying diversity and discrimination in the United States. My students are ready. What did they see? They saw a white man in a puffy jacket with huge mittens, distant not only social distancing, but in his demeanor and his attire.
You know what? Let's stop right there real quick. We got a lot of good Twitter accounts that are also putting their 2 cents on this, such as this one. What fresh hell is this take? I don't even understand. The dude wore mittens and a big coat because it was cold, and then he turned around and raised a ton of money for charity. Imagine having a platform to write about anything and choosing to dunk on Bernie's mittens.
Bernie's mittens that were probably made by his fans or his wife or his daughter, they look like homemade mittens that my wife would make, either crocheted or knitted, and he was just wearing them because they were extra warm for that day.
Oh, what about this one? 100% a white woman writing this, and by her own admission, she should not be an educator. I puzzled and fumed as an individual as I strove to do my best possible teacher. What did I see? What did I think my students should see? Kind Kind of sounds like that this was quite a pull to find something that wasn't there.
It was kind of like with our episode last week of the bizarre assumption of what was going on in The Mandalorian. I really didn't follow, so I guess I can't follow some of those things, and I don't understand the worldview that's behind it. But so much hate for somebody who's just trying to stay warm.
I'm not a huge Bernie fan, nor am I a Bernie supporter, but at the same point, this is kind of one of the reasons why we decided to start this show in the first place, is because just the pure, I don't know, stupidity of the far left reaching for stuff that's not even there. The dude was cold. He didn't even want to be there. He was clearly body language, I do not want to be here.
Exactly. And I don't think that's terrible. And even so, even if he did want to be there, when you're out in the cold, that's how you sit, because you're cold. The man is old. He's cold.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, one of the reasons, so I was curious also about this. And so one of the things that she said, one of the things that Ingrid said is, what did I see? I think my students should see a wealthy, incredibly well-educated, and privileged white man showing up perhaps the most important ritual of the decade in a puffy jacket and huge mittens. Quote, I don't know many poor, working class, or female, or struggling to be taken seriously folk who would show up at the inauguration of our 46th president dressed like Bernie. But in the picture that I have of Bernie, there are at least 4 other people that are dressed like Bernie because it's cold. Now, granted, they weren't wearing mittens, but the man was cold. Quoting again from the article, this, she told her students about the image from the day, is white supremacy. This is white privilege. So she did circle back and say, I mean in no way to overstate the parallels. Senator Sanders is no white supremacist insurrectionist, but he manifests privilege, white privilege, male privilege, and class privilege in ways that my students could see and feel, Ingrid wrote. Some of the associations that got money from the Bernie Sanders craze, which I find hilarious, for the licensing of T-shirts and other merchandise for the now iconic image. The beneficiaries include Meals on Wheels, Feeding the Chittens, I never heard of that, Feeding the Chittens, the Vermont Parent-Child Center Network, the Chili Foundation, and the Bi-State Primary Care Association and senior centers. Sounds like terrible ways to spend charity money.
I found mittens that look close to Bernie Sanders for about $30 online. A little more than what I would pay, but not awful.
Not at all.
And then a good Carhartt. It's normally right around $100. So, I don't know any working class guy that does not have at least one Carhartt sitting in the closet.
Well, it's just cold. I mean, look at the people around him. I think she's grabbing at straws.
Oh, she absolutely is grabbing at straws.
And the thing I think that it doesn't make any sense to me is she's white.
Yeah, but you really got to check your male privilege there.
In a follow-up story, the latest tempest in the teapot is followed close by another controversy over political correctness in San Francisco. The San Francisco Board of Education's resolution last week recommended that the remaining 44 schools that honor people who some consider to be out of favor by today's standards. The commission tasked with the decision stated is the criteria was based on whether the school's namesake had, quote, engaged in the subjugation and enslavement of human beings who oppressed women, inhibiting society's progress, and whose actions led to genocide or otherwise significantly diminished the opportunities of those among us to have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So they're going to go around and they're going to rename George Washington High School because he oppressed people, I guess.
You know, I know I'm not a history major or anything, but pretty sure George Washington's not an oppressor of people. Pretty sure he was, known as a liberator for, ever.
I know that they're trying to get on him for owning slaves and so on and so forth, but I think some of that's just society and how life has changed. And I mean, people depended on other people to survive. That's how it works. That's how it's worked for years and years. But as time has moved on, we don't have to do that. I mean, we're somewhat slaves. We still have to make money, so we go and do stuff to make money.
I'm not a slave her. I am a prostitute.
You make sure you get paid for that.
That's exactly it. I get paid to do a job that I might not necessarily want to do.
Right.
Makes me a prostitute.
Whichever it goes. So, yeah, they're looking to rename all the schools over there. What I don't understand, the other offensive names to be changed will be Abraham Lincoln, because of his treatment for Native Americans, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and pioneering environmentalist John Muir.
All sounds like a bunch of white guys.
This resolution came to the school board in the wake of the attacks in Charlottesville, and we are working alongside with the rest of the country to dismantle symbols of racism, and white supremacy culture. School board president Gabriela Lopez said of the resolution in a statement. So, I guess people just seeing white privilege everywhere.
Amazing how that works. Even when it's not there, it's there.
It's there. We can see this. This table is definitely white, so it has privilege over your black table that you're using.
How dare you?
I see what you're doing here. I see the correlation.
Take it out. Fire it.
I know it's not right. We'll dress it up in mittens and a hat, and that will be the end of that. Oh, look, the table's had a baby. This is a brown table. That must symbolize togetherness. I don't know. This is... Oh, that rabbit trail. It went on forever.
Are we allowed to use this joke?
I probably
I'm not sure we're allowed to use this joke now.
We'll get demonetized. Oh, wait, we're not monetized to begin with. Doggone it, YouTube. Why do you suppress us?
We're just going to hang on to this for another 10 years when we might be making monetization, and then we'll bring it back up.
Along with our Disney racist show from that one, too. Oh, any last thoughts on either the renaming of schools or the ladies' worldview, I guess?
You know what? This person needs to get a hobby. This is just straight up brainwashing of today's youth to fit idea or narrative that she's trying to push that's not even there or accurate. Bernie Sanders was just cold. We got pictures of the rest of the crowd out there that are also wearing winter jackets and hand warmers.
Whatever happened to the acceptance culture where we're not supposed to body shame and shame people for what they wear? We're supposed to accept people for who they are and what they know, and not for the color of their skin. And
sorry that we held this in a cold climate to where it's maybe 27 degrees out, and not in San Francisco to where we all could be wearing, shorts and a t-shirt. But I'm sure at that point, he would also be doing something imaginary that would prove his white privilege and male privilege and class privilege and educational privilege. And I don't know. He's old, so that's an age privilege.
If you look for problems in anything, you're going to find them. Just plain and simple. Like if you walk into a situation and I've had this at my workplace where I've had people come in and they'll be like, well, why'd you take so-and-so's order before mine? You just doing that because you're racist and they're white. And I'm like, no, it's because he got here before you did. And there's a line and you tried to cut in line. So I took his order first. Not complicated. But obviously, I was being racist at that point because I took the white guy's order before the black guy, even though he showed up in line first.
You are such a 1940s German soldier.
I'm terrible.
Jeez.
I believe in lines. Communism. Oh, brother.
You know what? And with that, this is the Man Up channel. We would love to see your favorite Bernie Sanders memes down in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you later.
See you later, guys.